you but I can't speak, or dare to cross the room. I wanna meet you at a slow dance. I wanna meet you but it's too soon. I wanna meet you but I can't speak, or dare to cross the room, but I am trying. Stuck beneath the spinning glow of a familiar hue, struck by your impression like all of those next to you. But I will try to stand and make it down the hall, but in the sound I'm barely here at all. I wanna meet you at a slow dance. I wanna meet you but it's too soon. I wanna meet you but I can't speak, or dare to cross the room. I wanna meet you at a slow dance. I wanna meet you but it's too soon. I wanna meet you but I can't speak, or dare to cross the room, but I am trying so hard to meet you where you are. I wanna meet you at a slow dance. I wanna meet you but it's too soon. I wanna meet you but I can't speak, or dare to cross the room. I wanna meet you at a slow dance. I wanna meet you but it's too soon. I wanna meet you but I can't speak, or dare to cross the room, but I am trying so hard. I met you in the yellow light of a sign that bore your name. You said it was a coincidence, but one you can't explain. Said I'm not going to read more of it than I should, but when you smiled, I knew I always would. I wanna meet you at a slow dance. I wanna meet you but it's too soon. I wanna meet you but I can't speak, or dare to cross the room. I wanna meet you at a slow dance. I wanna meet you but it's too soon. I wanna meet you but I can't speak, or dare to cross the room, but I am trying. Stuck beneath the spinning glow of a familiar hue, struck by your impression like all of those next to you. But I will try to stand and make it down the hall, but in the sound I'm barely here at all. I wanna meet you at a slow dance. I wanna meet you but it's too soon. I wanna meet you but I can't speak, or dare to cross the room. I wanna meet you at a slow dance. I wanna meet you but it's too soon. I wanna meet you but I can't speak, or dare to cross the room, but I am trying so hard to meet you where you are. across the room. I wanna meet you at a slow dance. I wanna meet you but it's too soon. I wanna meet you but I can't speak. Or dead across the room, but I am trying so hard to meet you where you are. I wanna meet you at a slow dance. I wanna meet you but it's too soon. I wanna meet you but I can't speak. Or dead across the room. I wanna
Ugh, sorry. I didn't. Okay, I found out. I was looking for something and I found something really cool and I didn't know that it was out there. And so I, like, trying to set up an account for something to be able to contact the person because, oh my god. I was looking for my account to, like, see what the ads looked like on my Twitch, and so I was looking at it, and so I googled like my name to just find my Twitch channel, and I found fan art. I found fan art from June that I didn't even know about. And I wanted to at the person that did it in the Discord, but they're not there, and so I linked it into the fan art channel just so that way I wouldn't lose the link, but I was trying to make an account so that I could contact the artist because it's beautiful. I wanted to thank them so much, but I can't. I was trying to set it up as fast as I could and it wasn't going very fast, and so it was that's why the intro was so long, sorry. But it was before I did the model change, so it's based on my old model, but it's still, like, it's gorgeous, and I didn't know, and I'm so sad. I'm so sad that I didn't know, because they never contacted me. They never said anything to me. They just, I guess, posted it. They didn't... I'm so sad I never knew. Is there a name? For some reason the fucking page just stopped loading. They're called Lala Lumations. They're tagged under pro. I put the link to the art in the Fanworks tab of the Discord. I'm gonna contact them after stream once we can get everything settled. But they weren't in the Discord. I, like, tried to see if they were in the Discord and they weren't there, and I'm assuming that they're under the same Twitch account, so I have no idea. I'll have to deal with it later, but, like, I'm so sad I didn't know. I was just trying to, like, look for, like, what my ads looked like, and so I'm trying to get rid of pre-roll ads basically on my channel because I know that it's super annoying. But so I was trying to see if, like, what it looked like from, like, your guys' perspective. So I was, like, using my personal account to look at this, and it's like, you know. So I Googled my account name and it showed up on, like, the front page of Google. And I'm so sad. I started a new shop because I had a shop already. We're gonna call it Wonderloan. Whoops. Wonderland. Yay! Yes. Name it Chow Farm. Tabs for open phone. But no, I found that out of complete accident, and I'm so disappointed I never knew said to open phone and... Oh, stop order. Whee! Oh, the sensitivity of the mouse is kind of freaking me out. Box. Box has no items in it. Ugh! I need to lower the mouse. Oh my gosh. Hold on, can I do that? Settings. Mouse sensitivity. We're turning that down a bit. That's much better. Okay. Market price is $325, so 350? 320... 350 seem okay? Good to me. Can you play Wonderwall? I don't have... No, I cannot play Wonderwall. They seem to be okay with the price, so... God. My... Oh, there we go. I was like, my... No. My 10 key wasn't working. Oh no, but the 10 key is where all my stuff is. I can't use my 10 key. All my hotkeys are on my 10 key. So if I... Okay, hold on. Can I... do this? So I don't run out of stock. Just a moment, sir. Hold on. Stop. Grab this. One. Goodbye, thank you. That's good price. That's good. So if I up the price, is that like... They say it's a really good price, so if I up the price, is it gonna like... Are they gonna complain? Okay. If I raise it to like 3... Oh, Oh, here. What if I do... plus 10%? That's gonna make everything super annoying because it's the 5. So let's do 3. Let me see what they say about 375, and then if they start complaining, we will lower the price again. These ones I think are all still gonna be at 350 because I didn't change the thing before he picked them up. My store would go bankrupt because I would be opening packs all day. From what I understand, you can actually open all of the packs. Got one. He didn't say anything though, which makes me think, oh my god, you're paying one card pack with $20. Hey. Hi, Bit! Good to see you! I'm feeling much better today. I did get accosted on my way out of my school though. By what I'm assuming was a teacher? It was a teacher. They were on school property, so it must have been a teacher. It's a college, so like all the... I'm assuming it was a teacher. Because like they... I don't know. Did they have... I don't think they had badges. Maybe it was just random people. They were just basically like... It was these two like older kind of ladies. I don't think that they were teachers at the school. I think they were part of like the sociology department or something like that. These kind of two older ladies that were just stopping everybody and asking if we had plans to vote today because today's election day. So I already have. So I was just like, no, I've already voted, and they were just like, oh, okay, and then they left me alone. It was nice and simple. It was just, do you plan to vote? It's like, yep, and then they left me alone. Nice and easy. but some people would consider that being accosted. I'm pretty sure that they worked at the school because like they were on school property, and I don't think that they can legally like do that unless they have permission from the college to be there. So. I feel weird. I had to take a new bottle of hand soap I bought before I learned of you. Now my hands smell like summer rain, and I don't know how to feel about that. Okay, so my family was watching. So my dad and I, whenever we're like on the couch together, just kind of having a night, my mom's always like, "Well, why don't you guys just watch a movie?" It's like because we're totally fine just watching whatever's on the TV at the time. But like if my mom insists, we'll like put on a movie, right? And so we put on, it's called Time Cut. It's on Netflix. It's like I think it was supposed to be going for a slasher film, but it's really not a slasher movie. And so it was like, we were watching that. One of the main characters is named Summer in that movie. And so I was like freaking out the whole time because I just kept hearing Summer, Summer, she's over there, Summer went that way, like things like that. I was like, I am not going anywhere. I'm sitting right here on the couch. No one's really complaining about the price of the cards, so I'm going to assume it's fine. Sounds like when someone new comes into our party and we're just kind of vibing and no one is talking. Like, why aren't you guys talking? It was so awkward because it's like I think my dad knows that like I go by Summer, but it was like I was watching, not a bad price really. Seems like a fair price. Okay, so that seems like that's good. See, I see people like buying all the individual packs, but like my local store, you can buy entire boxes of cards if you want to, and a lot of people do because there's like they do a lot of Magic. They do a lot of Magic card stuff. I don't play Magic, so like Magic is like a little too expensive for me, you know? It's the same with like the One Piece TCG. It's like I really want to like the One Piece TCG, but it's so unbelievably expensive. It is $15 a pack for the summer for the summer. Whoa. It's $15 a pack for the One Piece cards because they're super like they don't print a whole lot of them. And they also like it's hard to keep them in stock, and so a lot of the card shops have them priced that high so that people don't buy all of the cards at once, so that way other people can get them. So my card shop limits you for the One Piece cards. You can only get 3 packs at a time, and they're $15 a piece. So it's $45 to get 3 packs, and you can only get 3 packs. So it's like I want to like it. I want to like the One Piece game so bad because honestly, it is a lot of fun. I have several of the cards that I've like gotten through like either packs or through like the deck boxes that are significantly cheaper, and it is fun. I can play with a friend, but like I am not going to be like an avid collector of them because it's just too expensive. It's entirely too expensive. I don't have that kind of cash, especially considering that they have the limit on how many packs you can buy. And so like I would have to go to every single card shop in my state to be able to like collect enough cards to be able to make a deck. But then they also have like the elements thing, so you might not even be able to use any of those cards in a deck together. So it's just more it's more money and pain than it's worth. I'd rather just have these little deck boxes that they sell that are like character themed and like leave it at that. Now, Final Fantasy cards is a different story because Final Fantasy cards are cheap as shit because there's a lot of them, and there's a lot of them, and they're also not like a super, they're pretty popular, but they're not nearly as popular as like One Piece, obviously. And so those cards are, I think, $3.50 a pack or something like that, or you can get them you can get an entire box for like $100. And the entire box has like 24 packs, or is it 36? Might be 36. It's a lot. It has like a lot of cards and like a lot of cards in like one box. So I have a lot of Final Fantasy cards. Like, you guys know what a pizza box looks like? Think of like a pizza box that has doubled in size and then make 2 of them. That's like the amount of cards I have. I have like a lot. I have easily thousands of Final Fantasy cards. That's not including my Pokemon cards that I've been collecting for years and years. The last time I did like a formal count of all of my Pokemon cards, I sat at about 15,000 Pokemon cards. And I did that count like years ago. And I know it's increased since then, so I have a lot of cards. I kind of wanted to like show you guys the Final Fantasy card game because I think it's really cool. It's like Magic, but with like a few less rules. And so I really wanted to show it to you guys, but it's just the online version isn't quite as like easy to play. And so hi Raiders. Sorry, I'm talking about my card collection because, you know, seemed appropriate for the game today. It's lovely to meet you. I was talking about my unhealthy obsession with TCG cards because it's like at this point it's kind of unhealthy. Hell yeah, card collection. So I collect Pokemon and Final Fantasy trading cards. So I have a collection of the last time I checked for Pokemon cards, I have about 15,000, and that was years ago. And then I sit at about 4,000 to 5,000 Final Fantasy cards because I'm a menace. I don't really know how to say it. I think all of us playing this game have some sort of addiction. Yeah, I want to show people like how to play the Final Fantasy card game because it's a lot of fun. It's so much fun. The problem is that I'm not an expert, and so I don't want to teach people the wrong way to play. And so like if I like mess up one of the rules, like somebody could like mess up those rules and then they could like, oh, I'm gonna go to a local thing and I'll play, and then they're not gonna have the rules right. And so that's like kind of why I don't want to show people how to play. I can show people the cards, but I can't show people the rules really. Also, when it comes to the Final Fantasy card game, literally, oh my god, you're right. When it comes to the actual like card game itself, they give you like, if you buy a deck box or like something, they give you like this little thing that's supposed to tell you how to play, right? That little like piece of paper thing that's supposed to tell you all the rules is one of the most confusing little rule book thingies I have ever seen in my life. It is so hard to read, and so it is like it's so hard to read. It's so much easier to have somebody else to tell you how to play. Hello, do you have Sableye in stock? I bet you I've got a Sableye card sitting somewhere around me. Thank you for the follow, dear. Yeah. It says that I have to grab a card pack off the shelf and open them to get... Okay. Me. My turn. No problem. Go eat, go rest, go sleep, go get water, shower, I don't know. Whatever you need to do. I got a $50 card. Oh, there's somebody coming into my store. Or there's not, because it's 9 o'clock. My store is closed. We are closed. Well, that guy just did not seem very happy with the fact that I closed the store. Buy a play table and put it in the shop. Play table. My card shop is actually 2 floors. So my the downstairs is all where they keep. So my card shop is a secondhand video game store as well as a card shop. So when people want to do, they run a lot of tournaments where I am. So whenever they have tournaments, or if they if they're running tournaments or if they're just kind of doing like people come in to play because they don't have anywhere else to play, they go to the second floor. They go to the second floor where all the tables and everything are set up for them. I had 5 dissatisfied customers. Oh, man. But I had a $67 profit. We're still in the green. I do need to stock up, though. Two of those should be good. Oh wait, no, I need the... No. I should do 2 of those. Whee! Let's grab those. Can I... Is there enough space? There are people gathering in front of the store. I have participated in like one... I think I participated in one card tournament and it didn't go very well. I lost super bad. Like to the point where I didn't win a single game while I was there. I didn't win one game out of the entire tournament. But I still had fun, but it was a little humiliating, you know? Like my friends even came with me to like support me and everything, and it went really, really bad. Did I tell you the joke about what that other streamer said about me? I don't think so. If 10% is already sitting at 29.80, let's go ahead and run it for an even 30. And the reason I like doing evens is because it makes getting the cash much easier. it makes getting cash a lot easier. Okay, come on. We're open. Said I was everybody's mod. Well, kind of feels like you're a mod everywhere. Or like you know everyone at least. I opened the store and everyone left. No one wants to be here. My card shop's not cooler. Summer Card Wonderland is not cool enough for them, I guess. The art is cute. Isn't it beautiful? I didn't know it existed, and the person who made it never contacted me, so I didn't know that it was there. I'm so sad. I'm making an account for DeviantArt just so that I can contact the artist to thank them because it's beautiful, and I'm so sad I never knew it was there. It was posted back in June. Like, it has been up for months, and I didn't know. I should probably turn a light on in my room. It got super cloudy outside, so it's like really dark in here. Oh, not too far, 2-5. Wee! 1 pack of your finest Pokemon cards, please. The most expensive Pokemon card I think I've ever pulled out of a pack was I pulled a Giratina. I pulled a full art secret Giratina card. I actually ended up selling it. It was like a couple $100s or something like that. I ended up choosing to sell it because I didn't have a use for it. And I figured it was more use to me monetarily than it was for my collection, so I ended up selling that. However, I do have one Final Fantasy card that I have no use for and never intend to play with, but it's not leaving my collection. I refuse to let go of it. I have a signed Cloud card. There was a set that they did where you can get full art textured cards that have the signature of like Final Fantasy VII's like creator or like dev or something. I don't know exactly who it is, but they have like a golden signature on them. And that card is like $2,000. And I refuse to sell it because there was only one in my entire region. They're like that rare. Oh, wait, what am I doing? How do I get... Excuse me. No. How do I take that back? Oh, there we go. There was a single one of them printed and sold in my entire, like, region of the US. And so I ended up with it. And so it's one of those cards that it's like, I could have sold it. I could have sold it and gotten like a shitload of money, but like, I didn't want to. I keep trying to type in the cash amounts and that's not working. Oh my gosh. I actually kind of have like an interesting story about like Pokemon cards specifically. So my friend used to, that dude is a scalper probably. So actually that leads into that reminded me, the whole like huge amount of cards kind of thing just reminded me about it. So my friend worked at GameStop when the whole like Pokemon like scalping card like craze went through. Like, I don't know, was it Logan Paul or something? Like popularized like finding like these super, super rare cards that were worth a lot of money, even though he rigged all of those boxes to be able to have all of those super nice cards into them. But a bunch of kids fell for it. When that whole thing was going by and they were having the problem with scalpers, my friend's GameStop kept getting calls. Like, they would have people come in into the store and ask for Pokemon cards, or they would have people call because they were tracking when the shipments were for the store so that they could buy all of the Pokemon cards in the store the second that they got in. They had to blacklist like 8 people's numbers from their store phone. So they had this like piece of paper posted to like the back wall that if you saw that number on the phone, you were supposed to ignore the call because they were asking for Pokemon cards and they were like confirmed to be scalpers that were trying to buy up all the Pokemon cards within our entire like district to be able to sell them. And so they had those, and then I think they ended up having to lock up the Pokemon cards actually at that store. I don't know if they did it for all GameStops, but like the one that my friend worked at had to pull every Pokemon card they had off the store floor, and they had to put them in a locked drawer behind the counter. So you had to ask for them, and you could only buy a certain amount of them at a time. And it was like, I think only a manager had the keys to be able to get into them because it was such a problem. The Pokemon card, this market is really crazy. Is this the Pokemon one? Hi! It's like, I don't know, but it was getting so bad that they had to literally like write down people's phone numbers because they were calling the store to essentially track every time that they had a shipment of new Pokemon cards come in. I don't like leaving the boxes out on the curb because it's like my retail mind is like, oh my god, somebody's gonna steal them. But like, I don't think that they do that in this game. Like, you can just leave them out all night or something like that and nothing happens. But like, I can confirm that every store in my state also locked up the cards. I'm pretty sure everybody did. Like, I know that the Walmart around me did. Actually, the funny thing is the Walmart near me put them behind the counter where they keep the cigarettes. They had them in the locked cage behind the counter where they kept the cigarettes. Oh my gosh. Like, yay, big purchase, but like at the same time, you're a scalper. Either a major collector or a scalper. It's definitely hard to tell. I think the fastest way also, actually, my local card shop also has a wall of shame. kind of similar to how my friend had to have those blacklisted numbers on the back of the GameStop wall. My local game store that sells all the cards and like video games and things like that that I get secondhand and things like that, they have a wall of shame, and the wall of shame is for people that come in, not for people who are stealing, but for people who are trying to sell them fake cards. So they have a scammer, like the scammer wall of shame. So they take I think there might be a couple of thieves on that wall, but it's mostly people who came in trying to trade in fake cards. And they have a couple of like examples like pinned to the wall as well, but like it's mostly their like security cam footage pictures of them. And so it looks kind of like Sasquatch hunting because they're just like these little grainy like pictures. I'm going to buy another table. Whew. That not work. Yeah. New table. One, two, three, four. There you go. Imagine asking for a pack and they hand you cigarettes. I got, I've been carded at Walmart twice, I think. 2 or 3 times. The first time I ever got, like, carded at Walmart was when I was trying to buy a bottle of Whiteout. So I didn't know that apparently you have to be 18 in my area to buy a bottle of Whiteout. And the reason for that is because a bunch of kids were, like, taking them and using and, like, sniffing them. But, like, so they like made it a rule that you had to be over 18 to be able to purchase Whiteout, and I didn't know that. I was 16? I think I was 16 or 17 when I tried to buy a bottle of Whiteout, and I went to the self-checkout and I scanned it, and like the little like thing flashed and it's like, wait for assistance, and I'm like, what did I do? Did I do something wrong? And so like this older kind of woman comes up to me and she like looks at me and she's like, okay, what were you looking to buy? And I like told her, I was just like, I don't know what I did. I was just trying to buy the Whiteout. And I like pointed at the little bottle of Whiteout I had because I was using it for art. I had made a mistake in like an art piece that I was doing and I was trying to fix it. And so I was buying a bottle of Whiteout to do that. She looks at me and she's like, okay, can I see your ID? And so I like gave her my ID, my little I don't think I had my driver's license. It was either my driver's license or like I had just got it or it was my permit or something. It must have been my first license though, because I was on my own. I gave her my ID and she looks at me and she realizes that I'm not old enough to buy it, but she looks at me, she looks at the Whiteout, and then she looks at me again, she gives me my ID back and she just goes, you don't seem like a troublemaker. And then she just like scans her badge and walks off. So I guess she assumed that I wasn't going to be using it for anything other than like what I told her. So she 100%, like, I don't know if she broke the law or store policy or what, but she gave me she called me a square. She looked at me and goes, you don't seem the type, and then like scanned her thing and left. And so I have technically illegally bought a bottle of Whiteout at my store, at my local Walmart. I have also been carded at Walmart because I was buying the movie Five Nights at Freddy's for my mom for Christmas. Which I did not know was rated R when I picked it up. I thought it was PG-13, and so when I went to the self-checkout with it, it was in like a box, so I needed to have like an assistant anyway come over because I couldn't get it out of the little like lockbox thing. But I scanned it and it went and it started flashing again. It was like assistance required, wait for attendant. And I was like, okay. But I'm like looking at everything that I had that movie, and then I had a bunch of like gifts for my little cousins. So it was just like, it was a mixture of Paw Patrol items and one copy of Five Nights at Freddy's and then like a candy bar or something like that was like my purchase. It was like 2 weeks before Christmas. And the person with the ID comes over and they're like, I need to check your ID. I literally didn't know what the problem was, and so I asked him, I was like, why do you need my ID? And he's like, because that movie's rated R, and he pointed at Five Nights at Freddy's on the counter. And I looked at it and I was like, what? And so I gave him my ID, because at the time I was 23, so I was like, I was perfectly old enough to buy it. But like, I gave him my ID and I'm like, my friend had gone with me, and so I thought it was PG-13 as well. Apparently it's rated R. And so I gave him my ID, and I'm looking at my friend, and I've got this, not terrified really. I'm confused. I'm like, it's Five Nights at Freddy's. It can't be that bad. And so like, he looks at my ID, he sees that I'm over 18, he gives it back, and he scans the thing, and he lets me go. But it was like, I got carded for Five Nights at Freddy's at Walmart, like last year, and I couldn't believe my eyes. Hi, Gold. It's totally PG-13. It is? I thought it was R. Is it real? Nights at Freddy's 2023 film. What's its rating? It is! It is rated PG-13. You're right! Why on earth did I get carded then? Did he check you out before letting you go? No? I don't think so. Not only was I with somebody, but also he had like, I think he was being trained. But it was like, no, I got carded for it. I thought it was rated R or something. No, it's rated PG-13. I don't know what on earth they needed to card me for then. The heck is going on in that movie that made it rated R? I thought it was like, I don't know, blood or something. I don't know. I watched it. It's not scary. It's not scary. I thought it was fine. It was Five Nights at Freddy's. It was fine. Task: buy a card table and put it in the shop. And I did. I have to get another one? I'm picking up an early dinner. Save me a card pack. I will. It says to buy another card table. But Duck? There's a card table, something different. A card display. Is a card table something? Oh, it is. We're making dinner tonight because we don't want to be on the road. Can I rotate this? I can. Put it over here. Go. Your area is upping the ratings for movies? I don't think so, because like I can probably go downstairs and like take a picture of it or something. You're probably right that it's rated PG-13, but maybe because it was like Christmas time, they had a bunch of kids that were trying to purchase it or something, and so they had to be more like strict with the rules or whatever. I don't know. Whatever it was like ridiculous. Do this just so that I have all my stuff ready. But no, it was wild. I got carded to buy Five Nights at Freddy's, which I wasn't expecting, because when I went in, I was like, I thought it was PG-13, and it is apparently. So when they asked me for ID, I was like blindsided. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I've been like carded for that was kind of stupid. I don't think so. Everything else has been fairly normal. Like I got carded for spray paint once. I've been carded for alcohol. I get when my mom takes us to like a casino that's like really far away, I get carded every time I go in and out of the casino floor, but like that's normal. Usually I end up having to get like a wristband. Like, you know those like wristbands that you get at like Boondocks to let people know that you're supposed to be in there in case you like leave the building or something. I got one of those. I get one of those every time I'm out there, so that way I don't get accosted by every security guard that passes by, because I do look too young to be out on the casino floor, so. But I don't think I've really ever been carded for anything else ridiculous like that. I think everything else has been fairly normal. It's fine. Uh-oh, did the market change? Let's put this back down to 350 just so that way we don't have any, like, customers. I got called sir by someone who's 5 years younger than me. I'm not that old. Okay, the thing with, like, women is that there is, like, so many things that you can call us because there's, like, various versions of, like, ways to address women based on their age and marital status. There really isn't much for men. Men have very few ways to address them outside of, like, sir. Like, young man, boy, and sir, I think are the main ones, but, like, women have, like, a whole bunch of them. I had a teacher in middle school that, the way she introduced herself, I don't remember what her name was anymore, but it was, like, the way she introduced herself was she really didn't want students calling her ma'am. She didn't want students calling her miss or ma'am. That was, like, her biggest pet peeve. So she... when she started the school year, she was like, this is my name. You will refer to me as only by this name because I am married, so I'm not a miss. Ma'ams are old and madams are even older. was the way that she said. It was like so we couldn't call her miss because she was married. Ma'ams were too old. Madams were even older than ma'ams, and she didn't like being called Mrs. either because she had a last name. So and, like, the way that she had phrased it has, like, always stuck with me because of, like, how, like, particular she was. But, like, she wouldn't respond to you if you called her anything other than, like, Mrs. Blank. I remember when I was, like, 15, I think. And I was, like, 15, I got called ma'am for the first time. Maybe not 15. I might have been 17, actually. I was, like, when I was, like, a little bit older. When I was, like, somewhere, like, in my... like, between 15 and 17, I got called ma'am for the first time, and I didn't know how to feel about it, because I was like, oh my god, I'm like a big person now. I'm being called ma'am. But then, like, that stupid thing that my teacher told me was like, Mrs. I'm married, so I'm not a miss. Ma'ams are old and madams are older, like, went flying through my head. I'm like, how old did that guy think I was? Because it's really weird because I usually get mistaken for being significantly younger than I am. I get mistaken for being 16 quite a bit. I get mistaken for being 16 or 17 quite a bit. I am 24, but a lot of people assume that I am, like, a junior in high school. They assume that I am, like, a junior in high school a lot, and so anytime I go somewhere that requires me to have my ID, they'll, like, kind of scrutinize it a little bit. They'll be like, are you sure? It's like, do you think I have a fake ID or something? I don't. This is government issued. I understand that my picture makes me look really young because when I turned 21, it was during COVID. And so, like, my DMV was, like, super backed up. And so what they did was they just started letting people renew their licenses online with, like, the promise that in, like, the next time they needed to renew their license, they would come in for a new picture. So that's what I did. So my picture that's on my license was taken when I got my permit when I was, like, 17. And, like, I look a little different from there. Like, my hair is significantly longer. I wear glasses now, which I don't think are marked on my ID or anything. And, like, so my picture is a little outdated, you could say. I will never get over, like, when I went to the Ren Fair this year, and my friend He's got a family thing where people in his family go bald before a certain age, just genetically. It happens genetically. It's super normal. He looks fine. He looks perfectly fine. He just looks a lot older than he is. He looks like he's somewhere within his mid-30s when he's actually my age. And that's purely because he just doesn't have any hair. And so we went to the Ren Fair this year, and they have this one stand that does wine slushies or something like that. They like sell these like make it yourself at home like wine slushy things. And they do free samples for people that want to try them. And we were passing by and my friend's like, I'm gonna go get a free sample. And I realized I didn't have my card on me to be able to go in. So I was like, I don't have my card. I don't think I can go in because I have no way to prove that I'm over 21. The guy ended up letting me in because he said the fact that I even tried to look for an ID to prove that I was over 21 proved that I was 21. And then I looked at my friend and he was like, and I was like, well, where's your ID? You need to show him your ID. And my friend turned back to me, ripped his beanie off where he did to show off his bald head. And he just stood there on the little stairs after he had ripped his hat off and looked at me silently. And the poor guy who was standing at the little like end of the stairs to like vet people that could go into the stand had to turn away to keep himself from laughing at that response because he didn't know that my friend was bald under the hat, which is the fastest way to show that somebody is a little older than you think. And so he turned away and you could hear him snort. He like snorted really hard because he didn't expect that response. Need more of these out? Yes. I don't know. I guess I'm so used to people not believing me to be as old as I am that I just assumed that everybody also assumes that my friend is not as old as he is, even though he looks much older than me. Actually, it was kind of funny. So this same friend is an ex of mine. Like I am still friends with basically all of my exes because I've had all like mutual breakups. I've only had like 3 relationships and I was like friends with all of my boyfriends, so like I still talk to them, so it's like whatever. When I went on like one of my very first dates with this guy, he came over to my house. My mom looked at him. My mom saw him without all his hair, and the thing is he can grow a beard, but he can't grow any hair on his head. And so my mom looked at him, she pulled me aside and asked me, how old is he? Like, serious and legitimately, she like pulled me aside and like quietly asked me, how old is he? It's like, and I had to tell her that my boyfriend was 16, and I had to explain the whole genetic thing to her, but my mom legitimately thought I had brought like a 30-year-old home, that her like 16-year-old had brought like a 30-year-old guy home for a date. He was not. He was my age. I literally shared a class with him. I was his desk partner in chemistry. I get confused for being 18 to 24 constantly. I get confused for being like an actual child all the time. I am like a bunch of people for some reason think that I'm like 16. Hopefully that should change now that my dental stuff is all done. So like a lot of it was because I didn't have I had missing teeth because of my malformed teeth, or like the things that just didn't come through. So now that I have like my veneers all finished out and like I have like a proper set of like adult looking teeth, I should theoretically look a bit more my age now. That's not gonna change. I feel like the way that I dress is not helping, but like hopefully now that I like have a bit more of like what people would consider adult features, I guess I would be I hope that people like can look at me and go, yes, that seems like an adult. How to prove you were old, just explain the lore of Final Fantasy. I can't do that. And also which one, because they all have different lore. We're gonna do this really quick so that I can put some stuff on the shelf. That guy who just came up to the counter is just going to have to wait. Adult features. I don't know. It's like the only way that I can put it. It's like when you think of like a little kid, you think of like their teeth missing or knocked out or something, like because they've lost all their teeth. Because they're like getting their adult, their like permanent teeth are still coming in or things like that. They're still losing their baby teeth. Adult features, Summer. I'm pretty sure that you are equipped with them. Clearly not, because people still think I'm 16. Baby face? I do. I have a bit of a baby face, which is not helping. My mom and my grandma are like, you'll appreciate it when you're older. You'll like it more when you're older. It's like, yeah, I'm sure I will when I'm 40, but like I'm not, at the current moment, I am not 40 and I do not appreciate it. Time to get super buff. Number's 40 is gonna be 25. Pretty much is kind of what I'm expecting, is I'm gonna look like I'm like 25 when I'm 40, which I will probably appreciate when I'm 40. Oh. Whoops. Oh, I have a set for 2-3. That's why. I was like, I couldn't figure out why my clothes turned black for a second. It's because I have a hotkey for... I have a hotkey for, I think, 2 and 3. When pressed together. Dark side for a moment. I think it's... Is it 2 and 3? No, 2 and 3 is my Halloween set. I have, like, a set that just changes my clothes. But I don't remember what hotkey it is. Oh, it's 9 o'clock. No one's in here. Okay, let's put some cards out. Do plus 10, and we'll round it. Plus 10. Ooh, not plus 20. Whoops. Marketplace, plus 10, round. Plus 10, round, done. Make it easier so that I'm not... Round, leave. Because it's telling me to put 10 cards for sale, so... Well, there's no one here. Is this shelf so far away from the wall? Oh. Someone's gonna get stuck back there. I had 9 dissatisfied customers. I lost money today, but that was because I had to, like, buy a bunch of stuff. Umbrella Pharmaceuticals coming in clutch. I had to explain that joke to my dad yesterday. Because my mom knows about it. Like, my mom, I told my mom about the joke. She thinks it's hilarious. But my dad, who's not as big of a fan of, like, Resident Evil, doesn't really know a whole lot about Resident Evil, had no idea what we were talking about, and so I had to explain the umbrella joke to my dad. I had to explain the ongoing umbrella joke to my dad, like, I think yesterday. So that he was, like, in the loop. The owner doesn't know his own company. I had to tell him. He got it after, but it was late. But it took a second of explaining where the joke, where the joke started and like how it got to this point. My mom had me move her little umbrella keychain onto her new keys because she got a new car like 2 months ago or something. Because so her old car was like literally falling apart, and so it was time for a new car. So she got a new one, and she had a couple of keychains on her old keys that she didn't keep, but she kept the umbrella one, and so she had me like put it onto her new keys for her and everything. So we have matching ones. I have an RPD one on my wallet, and then she has the umbrella symbol on her keys. And now I got a sticker to put onto my credit card, which is the Umbrella Corporation like sticker logo, and so it looks like I have like a company card, which I think is hilarious because every time that I like use it, it's like I get to put this on the company card, and then I like, like it makes me feel so like snobbish. It makes me feel like such a this isn't open. It makes me feel like a snob, but at the same time, it's just it makes me laugh. I haven't had anybody comment on it yet, like in person. Summer's a snob. I don't want to come off as a snob, but it like makes me feel like a snob every time that I have any Karens enter your store. Not yet. I think that they have Karens programmed into their system. That looks like it's still good. Looks like it's still good. When I worked at Build-A-Bear, I had a couple of Karens come in. Because it's like when you work in retail, you're gonna find one sooner or later. Like it's inevitable. You're gonna have someone. But as for the game, I don't think that that's programmed in. Oh my god, my dad is not loving me watching Twitch. I'm trying to think of like if I've had like the only Karens I ever really had were when I worked in retail. When I don't know if I ever had any when I worked at Kohl's. I didn't work at the counter very long when I worked at Kohl's, so like I didn't really encounter. No, that's not true. I did have one, and I didn't work at the counter at the time. I had the lady who screamed at me about shoes. My very first job was Kohl's, and I worked in something called the Omni department, like MONI, Omni. And basically what I did was I did online orders. I had this one incident where I was like looking for somebody had ordered a pair of shoes online or something, so I had to go to the shoe department, and I had to go find the shoes that I need. The girl that was like running the shoe department, because they had their own staff like section, because it was such a like demanding section of the store, and then they had their own stock room that they had people that were like specifically assigned to the shoes department. So I went over there and I like found the shoes that I needed, and like as I was leaving, the girl who was running the shoes department at the time, she stops me and she goes, "I haven't had my break yet. Is there any way that I can have you hang out here for a little bit just to watch over shoes while I take my break?" And me being the massive pushover that I am, even though I didn't know anything about the shoes department, I said, "Yeah, sure. Because I was assuming it was like 15 minutes. I was like, I can just hang out here for like 15 minutes. It'll be fine." And so I did. I let her go to her break, and I hung out in the shoe department. This lady comes up and she starts asking me, she has this like picture on her phone. And she's like, "I'm looking for these." She's got her son's like 13 with her or something. So it's like her and her son come up to me, and the lady's got this like picture on her phone. She's like, "I'm looking for these shoes, but I need them in a women's size." What? And she was showing me a picture of men's shoes. She needed a man's shoe in a women's size. So I'm like already kind of like, I have no idea what she's asking for. I had never even seen these shoes before anywhere in the department. So first order of business was finding the shoes she wanted. And I don't know how to look up things in the inventory. I had my little, like, I call them, I think they call them a bluebird. I had a bluebird thing that was supposed to tell me what to look for, but not what was in stock, basically. So I had no way of looking up where these shoes were or what section they would be in. So I'm like hunting for these shoes in the store for her, and she's getting super pissed at me because I can't find the shoes. Every pair of shoes I pulled out for her was the wrong shoe, or she didn't like them. until she like gave up. She's like, why do you even work here? And she started like pulling out shoes from the shelves to try to find the shoes herself. And I'm like, I'm freaking out because I don't know what she wants from me, because I eventually found like a shoe that was similar enough to it that was like what she kind of was like looking for. And she goes, no, those aren't good enough. We need these shoes. And she's like waving her phone at me. It's like, I don't know what those shoes are, lady. Leave me alone. And so I'm like, I am panicking at this point because she is now screaming at me because I cannot find these shoes for her and how I shouldn't be working here because I can't find her shoes. To where one of the like store managers, like one of the higher up people that like legitimately like ran everything in the store, wandered by and saw what was going on and stepped in to like help me because she knew I didn't work in the shoe department. And so I had no clue what to do. And so she kind of slides in, like literally like kind of slid in between the two of us and goes, how can I help you? There seems to be a problem. And so she started like yelling at my manager instead. And my manager kind of just like waved behind her for me to leave. And I did. I found out later that she did find the shoes that she wanted, but they were on a mannequin. And so, fun fact about mannequins at Kohl's stores, you cannot actually, you cannot sell anything on a mannequin to a customer without a regional manager present. And the regional manager was in like 2 states over or something, I think. So like not where we were. And so she saw the shoes that she wanted on the mannequin and she started like yelling at my manager, like, those are the shoes. Those are the ones we need. Those are the shoes that we need. And like my manager's like, I'm so sorry, we can't sell those ones to you because they're on the mannequin. They were the only ones in the store. And her like 13-year-old kind of like put his hand on his mom's like shoulder and was like, Mom, seriously, it's fine. I can just go get those other ones, which was one of the ones that I had shown them already. And she like brushed her kid off. She's like, no, those are the shoes that we need. Those are the ones that we need. Those are what we came for. We are taking those shoes. And like my manager's like, we cannot sell those ones to you. Like she was like trying to very calmly explain to this woman that is now yelling, like you could hear her across the store. This is a 1,000 square foot store. And we could hear her from my stock room on the other end of the store. Until she like, my manager eventually had to call our loss prevention team, which was essentially our security, and told her like, if you like, because she was becoming such a huge issue that we actually ended up having to threaten to call security and the police if she did not leave the store because she was causing such a problem. She eventually left, and her poor son, if anything, I just feel bad for her poor kid. Because, like, her son clearly knew that his mom was acting like an actual asshole. Like, she was just being an actual terror. And that she was causing all these problems, and, like, it wasn't the kid's fault. It wasn't the kid's fault that his mom was a maniac, and so he was, like, embarrassed. You could see it on his face. He was, like, red in the face, and he was so upset, and it was, like... From what I gathered, the shoes were because he had started a sport. And they were like uniform shoes or something like that. Like he needed them for his uniform for the sport. $3.75 on these? But yeah, she got kicked out of the store for acting like that. I was gonna say I don't have a price on those, so hopefully those are being priced. Hopefully the dad is a better parent than the mom. I hope so. I didn't see, the dad was not there, so I didn't actually get to like interact with him. But that poor kid was so embarrassed. Like he was trying to reason with his mom to tell her basically to shut up, those cards are, not those cards, those shoes are fine, and she was just not listening to him. She was just having a meltdown over these shoes, the men's shoe that she needed in a women's size. I've had people pull the race card on me. I've never had that. I haven't had anybody do that with me. Thankfully, I've never had. However, I did have somebody claim to know the governor, though. I did have somebody claim to know the governor. Because it was when we were doing mask mandates. Like, it was the first day the mask mandate came into effect before everybody got locked inside. We put up a little sign in the window that said, hey, city ordinance says masks are required in buildings starting this day, just so that you're aware. It didn't have anything to do with her not wanting to wear a mask. She had a problem with the date of the sign. She says, she comes up to the thing and she goes, just so that you're aware, the sign that you have in the window about masks doesn't actually apply until tomorrow. And we're like looking at her and she's like, we literally pulled this information from the city site. Like it was the city printout that they were like having stores use for their like doorways. And we told her that, and it's like, well, actually, that's what the city put out as their mask mandate for the city, and it's just that's what the city center says. She's like, yeah, well, I know the governor, and the governor told me that it doesn't actually start until tomorrow. To which my other manager and I are looking at each other like, we wanted to laugh so bad because we had never had somebody telling us that she knew the governor of the state. And we kind of just like nodded along and went, oh, okay, we'll go ahead and fix that then. We'll let people know, because we just wanted her out of the store. We just wanted her to leave. And so like, and she didn't even end up buying anything either. She just came in to tell us that our sign was wrong and then like, and then left. She like came in to like finger wag at us that our sign was wrong and then like left. I did have a lady cough on me around Christmas time. I had a lady who didn't want to, who we were having a wait list at the time, so you had to sign up to be able to come into the store because we only could have so many capacity in the store at the time, so we had a wait list. She also wasn't wearing a mask, so she wasn't allowed in the store anyway because she didn't have the mask on, but she also was like, we had like a 2-hour wait list. So we couldn't even let her in anyway. But when I told her that, she was like freaking out and like telling me, it's like, you are going to ruin my 86-year-old mother's Christmas because you won't let us in the store because there's no one in here. We were waiting on like 8 other families to come back because we had just called them, so there wasn't really anybody in the store. So she was right. There wasn't anybody in the store, but it was for a really specific reason. And I told her, like, I was being very firm. I was like, I'm sorry, we cannot let you in because we are waiting on 8 other families to come into the store, and she was not having it. So she and her adult daughter, like, they finally left after like screaming at me about how I was ruining their Christmas, and then I said, okay, have a nice day, and they turned around and said, what did you say to me? I literally just told them to have a nice day, and I repeated it. I was like, I just said to have a nice day, and then she started accusing me of like having an attitude with her for telling her to have a nice day. And so then she and her, in the nicest way I can say it, she and her bitch ass daughter turned around and got right up in my face and coughed at me before leaving. At that point, my store manager had come over because she was causing this massive commotion because she was screaming and yelling and coughing at me, and so like my store manager finally came over, and she came to defend me after I had been screamed at, and so I started like I was told to go hang out in the back for a minute just to cool down. Cool down's not a good way. It's because it's scary getting screamed at by random people, especially because it's like, nobody wants to be yelled at their job, especially because I was literally just doing my job. And by the time that my store manager had come over, I was like literally shaking. Like the clipboard that I had of like all the names of like the families that were coming back was like shaking because I don't take confrontation very well. So she had me go into the back to calm down a little bit because I was like, and to also to like wash my hands because I had just been coughed at. I can say that was probably my worst experience working there, was just that one lady, and that wasn't even the store's fault. That was just her. Let me at her. I was shaking and I was ready to like cry because like, so I was ready to cry, one, because I was being screamed at and I don't like being screamed at, but it was like another reason was because my mom is immunocompromised. Like if my mom had caught COVID at that time before she had all of her vaccinations and everything, like to be able to protect her, she could have died. My mom did actually end up in the hospital for COVID related illnesses later on after this, but it was like having somebody do that to me when I could legitimately, like, if I brought it home for any reason, my mother could have passed away, was like, I was nearly in tears thinking I was gonna bring home COVID to my house because of it. And like my coworkers knew that. My coworkers were fully aware that I basically, every time that I got home, I had to like strip out of all of my clothes and like shove them into the laundry room and shower. It was that serious until my mom was able to get all of her medications and everything in order to be able for us to calm down a little bit with it. If only retail jobs would let you fight one customer a year, the world would heal. Oh, I don't have any cards over there. Shoot. We're gonna take these and we are going to open them so that we can put some cards on the shelf. I had other Karens that were like not COVID related. I had most of the ones I experienced were COVID related, but like the first one I ever had was that Pokemon, was the Pikachu lady. I was so mad. I was so angry with that one. And so is like my other like fellow manager, because she was the one that was like actually being like yelled at for most of it. But I think I've told this one before of like so I have, at the time we have this, I think he still goes there. Like I doubt that he stopped going there after I stopped working there. We have a regular customer who is autistic, like kind of severely autistic, and so it has to be done a very certain way. He knows very specific staff members, and if those staff members aren't helping him, he gets really freaked out, kind of a thing. And so like we know how to handle this one customer because he comes in quite a bit. He always comes in for Pokemon. His favorite thing is Pokemon, and so he loves getting them. He was getting a Pikachu. We had just released some like new version of Pikachu or something like that, and so he had to have it. So he came in with his like allowance money, and he was so excited, and he had his Pikachu ready. Previous to this, there had been a family that had come in that at the time we had one of those Pikachus on display. It had a tag on its back that was listed for $3, and that $3 tag was actually for the hat that Pikachu was wearing, because at the time Detective Pikachu had just released. Like, it was still in theaters, kind of a thing. And so our company was capitalizing on it by selling these little, like, Sherlock Holmes detective hat things that people could put on the Pikachus. And so that's what that tag was. It was tagged for the hat. And so this lady, like, picks up the display, and she's with her, like, 10-ish-year-old son. She comes up to the counter, and she looks at my other manager, and she goes, "So this is $3, right?" like she's like waving around the entire display with like the stand and everything. And my manager goes, no, actually the hat is $3. The doll itself is actually $29. And so she like told her, and she pointed at the wall where the actual price of the Pikachu was. And the lady like looks at the Pikachu and she puts it onto the counter and goes, I guess we're gonna be going elsewhere then. And she, come on. And then she like grabbed her kid's hand and like left. Like, okay, whatever. And so like my manager shrugged and was like, okay. And so she ended up actually cutting off that $3 tag from the Pikachu so that this didn't happen again with a different customer. And she put the Pikachu doll back. At this point, our autistic customer had made it up to the counter, and he was buying a Pikachu that looked exactly the same to the one that was on display. He had a little hat and everything on it, and he had just finished checking out with me. The dad came marching into the store in a rage and huff because we had not sold the Pikachu to his wife and son for $3. And so he came in kicking and screaming about the Pikachu, and he reached over the counter and he picked up my autistic customer's Pikachu off the counter and started waving it around in the air, demanding to know why we didn't sell it to them. This is not the display Pikachu. This is, how much was the Pikachu? The Pikachu with the hat and the doll together was like $35 with tax or something like that. It was like a $35 thing. The actual like bear itself was $29. But he picked up my customer's, like, he'd already paid for it. He was ready to put it in his bag and everything, but he reached over my customer, grabbed that Pikachu off the counter and started waving it around to demand why we wouldn't sell it to him for the $3 price. And he like, my manager is now freaking out because there's a guy screaming in the store and waving around another customer's items that were already paid for. And I had just started at the time. I think I was like 3 months in or something to my job. So like I was still kind of like, I wasn't super good with like confrontational people like that yet. That, and he also wasn't yelling at me. He was yelling at the manager next to me. I actually asked him for the doll back. I made the mistake of being like, telling him, hey, that actually belongs to our customer here. My autistic customer is like, he is shut down. He's just kind of staring with like an owlish look on his face because he has no idea why people are screaming and why his Pikachu is now being thrown around in the air. And he's got no clue what's going on, and you can like see that he's like starting to freak out and so I was like, can I have that Pikachu back that's already been paid for, that belongs to this customer? And the guy like whipped around, pointed at me, and he like shoved his finger like a couple of inches away from my face, and he goes, you stay out of this, and then like went back to yelling at my manager, to which at that point she had completely enough, and we ended up calling security. Like, she turns to me and she goes, call security right now. And then she turned back to the guy and she's like, if you do not put that down on the counter and leave, security is going to come and get you. And like, I was already like dialing the number for mall security. To which he then like slammed the Pikachu down onto the counter and left. We looked over to the front of the store and we could see the wife in the window laughing because her husband had just caused a huge scene in the store over a $35 Pikachu doll that they were trying to buy for $3. And the poor kid is like, I couldn't tell if he was embarrassed or not. I don't know if he was old enough to really understand what the big problem was. He was somewhere between like 8 and 9, like 8 and 10-ish. So like, I'm not sure if he totally understood what the issue was, but he was like, his mom was like holding onto his arm and she was standing in the window, like laughing at us because her husband had come in to berate us about the doll. Banned for life. We luckily never saw them again. It was, we luckily never actually saw any of those people again. So it was like, we were lucky for that instance, but it was still completely ridiculous that it even happened in the first place. I need to stock up. I got busy explaining the Pikachu story and completely forgot to, like, order things. That kid's either gonna grow up to be the most annoying person or want to leave the house. I'm hoping that he decides that he wants to leave the house. What's unfortunate is that a lot of the kids are gonna emulate their parents' behavior, and so he hopefully will have peers in his life that will teach him how to act a certain way that is not like his parents, and I can only hope. I can only hope that he ends up having, like, his friends, like, tell him, hey, yo, you don't fucking act like that in public. That incident happened probably 3 or 4 months after I started. It was before I became a manager, but, like, not too far before then. Because I became a manager pretty quick at that store. Destruction of property, assault, disturbing the peace, trespassing, robbery, child endangerment, theft, and battery. Battery and assault technically don't start here because he never actually touched any of us. However, assault and battery technically could qualify to the lady that coughed on me because you can actually sue people for assault and battery if they cough on you. You have to come behind the counter, guy? Hey, Jimmy, don't do that. That's cringe. I did have quite a few thieves. The problem was that our shoplifters, typically we didn't catch them shoplifting. Most of the time we wouldn't notice that things were missing until it was too late. So, like, very rarely did we actually, like, see and or catch a shoplifter. Do keep in mind that the coughing thing does vary state to state. At least as far as I'm aware, like, the charges for the coughing thing do vary state to state, so look into it before you start threatening people. You shouldn't threaten people anyway because it's rude, but, like, just in case, look into it before you do so. I do know that spitting on somebody is considered assault, though. But, no, the Pikachu incident happened, like, before I became a manager. The coughing thing, I was a manager because we, at that time, it was only the managers were allowed to run the wait list because it was just, we wanted to be the ones getting yelled at instead of, like, the other staff because, like, we had so few staff at the time that we could not afford to lose what little staff we had because they got yelled at by somebody. Because a lot of the people that worked there were, like, college students. This was a lot of their first jobs. They didn't really know how to handle confrontation at a job yet and things like that. And so it was like, we didn't want to lose what little staff we had. So we became the buffer to be yelled at so that the rest of the staff didn't. I think I'm going to do something. I think I'm going to move this towards the door. So that way, anybody who stinks is going to get immediately sprayed. Congratulations. Do you smell? You're going to be accosted by smell. A noble sacrifice. I mean, that was what we had to do. And that was actually, when I moved up into management, they told me, it was like, you are probably going to be yelled at by customers when you go into this position because it's very common. Like, our job is to protect the rest of the staff. If there are incidents in which they are being harassed or something is going on where they need someone else to step in because it's getting out of hand, we are their buffer. We are the people that step in to help our staff because they don't, like, at least in most incidents, they don't deserve it. And so it was my job to be basically like a mom in a sense. Do your worst, customer. I'm already living through hell. I've already been standing here for 8 hours having other people yell at me about the fact that we have a wait list, lady. You are of no concern to me. I know that there's like a lot of like retail management that they'll be like, well, they want to like save face, and they'll be like, well, the customer's always right, and so thus you should always listen to like what the customer says, and like they're always right even if they're like causing issues. It's like, no, they're not always right. There are incidents with customers where it's like they're just being an asshole, and you need to step in and say, hey, our staff's not the problem here. You are. And I feel like there's a lot of places that don't practice that. They're like, oh, well, the customer is going to be the one that's going to come back later, and so we're going to listen to what they say, and so if they think that you did a bad job, then you did a bad job. No, we did not operate like that. People always forget that the customer is always right. It actually comes from parody. It does? The actual quote is that the customer is always right in matters of taste. Basically, that they can buy whatever they want, like an ugly painting. See, like, I like that much better. Like the whole saying, if it's like, just because like I might not like it, their taste doesn't matter to me, kind of a thing. Let's get 2 of these. So apparently the 2 who coughed on you, if cops wanted to and you wanted to press charges, since it was during peak COVID, the cops could have elevated the charge all the way to domestic terrorism. I did know that. I did know that it could be considered like essentially bioterrorism to do that. The problem is that by the time that they did that, they were already like, they did that and then like ran off. So like had I like wanted to press charges, they were long gone by the time that I would have gotten any kind of police or security into the store. Because as much as we liked to like, I say as much as we liked to threaten with security, even though honestly we very rarely tried to call for security for anything, our security was horse shit. Like, there's no other way to put it. Like, our security was actually garbage. Because, so, fun fact about malls, I don't know if it's the same at all malls, but like, security at a mall doesn't actually do anything. The security at a mall is there to help people find like lost kids. Like, their kids like run off and they can't find them. They help them find lost kids. And then they are there to deter crime. Like, that's their job. They deter crime because people are less likely to steal or shoplift if they know that there is a security presence, regardless of whether that security presence can actually do anything. So when you ask them to do anything, like, hey, can you like do something about this? More often than not, they can't. So like when we had a fight, actually, we had the world's most ridiculous fight break out in the hallway that spilled into our store. It had nothing to do with our store. It started in the hallway, and they happened to kind of tumble into our store. We had, what ended up happening was there was a guy and his girlfriend passing in front of our store. And this girlfriend was wearing like a outfit that was like traffic cone orange. Like, it was like the brightest shade of orange she could have possibly picked. So it's very eye-catching. It's a very eye-catching color because it's so bright. So there was a kid. He was literally a kid. He was 16. Passing by the store, and he took a brief glance at her because, look, lady in bright orange. That's interesting. And she was objectively pretty. And so he didn't say anything to her. He didn't catcall her or anything. He literally just looked at her as they passed by. And the boyfriend took offense to that. And so he saw this kid look at his girlfriend as they passed by and attacked him. He literally, he turned around and said, like, what are you looking at? And then he punched the 16-year-old in the face. This was a college-aged man. Like, he was, like, 24. Attacked like a 16-year-old outside of our store. The dad of this 16-year-old said, fuck no, and he punched the guy back and started a fight to protect his teenager from this adult man who attacked him for literally no reason. And so the dad and the boyfriend got in a fist fight, and it ended up falling into where, like, they tussled, and it ended up in our store. There's kids in our store. There's kids and yeah, cool dad. 100% behind the dad here. But they were tussling in the store, and there's kids. There's kids and families in our store. And so when we saw it happen, we had to corral the store. We had to corral our customers into the back of the store to avoid the fight. And there was blood. Like, there was blood all over the store in front of children. Like, he slammed this guy, like the college age guy, like, slammed this poor dad around because, I mean, it's a dad. He's not going to be like, he's not John Cena over here. He's just protecting his son. And so it was like, he was slamming him into things, and and it got really super heated, and he ended up running. The guy saw security start congregating near the store, and he ran away like a fucking coward, leaving the dad, like, on the floor in our store bleeding. The girlfriend, by the way, as soon as the fight broke out, ran away. We assumed she was the one that got security, but she ran away the second that the brawl came out. And then, so now we have this man on the floor bleeding because he'd been attacked. And so we're, at this point, 4 of the mall security guards had shown up because a bunch of people saw the fight and went and found security. And so security showed up. And what I'm doing is I'm getting this man a chair to help him get off the floor. And then I'm trying to clean the blood off of, like, our displays and the floor so that the children don't see it. I don't want little 5-year-old kids, like, seeing the Build-A-Bear symbol with a blood splatter across it. You want to talk about, like, emotionally scarring a child? And so, like, I'm trying to clean up as much blood as I can off of our displays and the ground and everything, so that way, like, kids don't see it. And my other manager looks over at the security guards. There's 4 of them that are just standing around, looking at their phones. They're looking at their phones or just kind of chatting with each other out in the hallway. And, like, my other manager, she looks at them and goes, "Are you gonna help? Can you like come in here and help us get him off the floor and, like, into this chair?" And they literally told us, "No, we can't touch him. We're not allowed. We can't do anything. That's the police's problem." And so it became our staff's responsibility to clean up the blood, take care of this man, make sure that we get as much information as we can about what happened. And the son who was initially attacked was helping us. And like, with his dad. And the police eventually showed up and took statements and talked to the man, asked if he needed EMS or anything, and, like, just, you know, police stuff. But we had 4 of the mall security people just hanging around the store, not helping. They didn't help me clean up anything. They didn't help that man sit up after he'd been attacked. They wouldn't even, like, offer him a hand to help him up. They didn't say anything to him, nothing. They were just there, wasting their time. And so it was, I don't think I had never been more angry at my mall security than in that moment. Like, I was already pretty mad because every time that we had, like, a missing child incident where, like, sometimes we had kids that had lost their parents that would come walking into the store because it's a toy store. They feel safe with us. And so they would come in and be like, "Hey, I can't find my parents. Can you help me?" And we'd be like, "Okay." Or, like, people would be like, "I can't find my kid. Can you help me find them? Are they possibly in here?" And we would help them contact security to help find their kids and things like that. by the time that security would show up to our store for missing kids incidents, the kids were usually found. Like, we were able to find and locate more kids than our mall security ever did. Stop being stinky. But no, it's like, I don't think I had ever been more angry about anything in my entire life than, like, watching 4 security guards stand around while a man was on the floor after being attacked. I kind of think that most malls now down here just have their own police branch. We did at the time, but so they were doing a bunch of construction, so the little tiny kind of like off-branch police department that we did have near the store had been torn down recently because they were doing a bunch of construction. So our like police presence in the mall wasn't as large as it could have been at the time. I legitimately don't think I know what our mall security's, like, purpose was outside of locking the doors at night and then standing around. Looking, like, either walking while looking at their phones, standing around, and then locking the doors at night, I think is, like, the only thing they legitimately did. I will help you, sir, in a minute. I did not know that I would suddenly have a burst of customers. Here we go. One, 6, 5. It's usually observe, patrol, report, and that's it. And that, which is like, what's the point? Exactly. Their job was basically to look like they were a security presence, like they were going to like stop crime, to attempt to deter people who were going to steal, because the illusion of having security around would make people like shoplift less. Keep trying to do that every time I open the thingy. I have an idea. Because this is not enough to stop the stink, I am doing another one. If you are going to shop in my store, you will not smell. Double sprayer. So that they have a little bit of space to walk. Go. It's so ominous looking, but it's fine. Spray that guy? I will in a sec. You are clean. Did you guys know that it's actually a rule in Yu-Gi-Oh! That if you don't shower before your tournaments, you can get kicked out? For some reason I pictured a glass case with a single stick of deodorant in there. There's like a legitimate rule in Yu-Gi-Oh! Tournaments. Like, it was like officially sanctioned by like Yu-Gi-Oh! Like the people who run the tournaments. Like, if you don't shower before your competition, you will immediately have to forfeit your match. It had become such a problem of people showing up smelling disgusting that they made it a rule that you had to shower before you can play. If the judges, when they pass your table, can smell you, you immediately lose your match. There's a shower outside the duel room. Pokemon TCG, Magic, and all the Yu-Gi-Oh! Tournaments do. Cons can even kick you out for offensive odor. I did know that cons could kick you out. Not high enough shop level. Oh. Oh, requires shop level 8. Oh, we're almost there. I am so annoyed right now. Why? What's annoying you? I ordered the wrong PC part. Oh no. Is there any way that you can like to return those? Because those have got to be expensive. Ugh. I'm down $120 because I bought that second sprayer. But it'll be good. I went and got a part for my PlayStation yesterday. I had to go all the way down. I'm returning them. Okay. I'm hope it wasn't a motherboard. Oof. I went to my local like tech store. I say local, but it's actually like an hour away from me. I placed an order online and picked up a piece yesterday. I'm tired of having to delete games to play games on my PlayStation because it doesn't have enough space. I got a thing called. It's right here on the. No, it's not. I put it behind me. I got an SSD. I got a 1 terabyte SSD for my PlayStation so that I didn't have to continuously delete all of my games every time that I wanted to play something new. The only issue is I have to install it myself. And so I'm a little worried to do that. Supposedly, it's not that hard. Apparently, you just kind of pop off the casing and you can just, like, plug it in. But, like, or I guess I needed a screwdriver for something. I guess I plug it in, screw it down into place so it doesn't move or something like that. And then it should be good. I bought a 3 terabyte Seagate mount. I just got the one because because I didn't want to spend over $100 and they were running a sale. And so I got it on like 50% off or something like that. So I got it for like $86. I got it for like $86 and it's a 1 terabyte. If I need to upgrade from there, I'm sure I can. I'll like do PlayStation Plus for a little bit just to get all of my saves clouded and then as long as you have a mount in there. Supposedly it's supposed to have one. I don't know. My friend is insistent that it's already got one in there or whatever. Mine was a... What brand did I get? It was on sale, which is why I bought it. Yeah, I could have waited for Black Friday, but it was starting to seriously annoy me. Like, it had been annoying me since I got it. I got an Inland. Inland. I got one of those. 1 terabyte is just enough to download COD. I have COD on my PC, so that's not an issue. But, I don't remember, I had to delete something. I don't remember what I deleted, but I had to delete something to make space for Sonic. Like, for, the new Sonic game, I had to delete something, and I was like, this is the last fucking straw. If I can't even play Sonic without having to delete something, I give up. How do I get more space into this? So I was, like, in the car with my friend, I'm like, okay, I wanna get more space. I'm looking into doing an external hard drive for my PlayStation. He's like, okay, but you can't play games off of an external. It's just for storage only. And I'm like, oh, okay. He's like, well, you could do an SSD card instead inside the machine, which should be able to, you should be able to play off of. I'm like, okay. So I grabbed one that was on sale. That was like, I figured 1 terabyte was fine. I figured 1 terabyte was like a lot, and so I was like, I didn't think I was gonna need more than that, you know? If I have a terabyte of games on my PlayStation, I feel like there's definitely something within the roster that is probably like one of those things I haven't played in like a year that I don't need to keep on my PlayStation. It's not that old, right? God, I hope not, because I know what Foster's Imaginary Friends was. I used to watch it. Watch it when it was on. I don't remember the name of the movie anymore, but like I remember all the time they used to play the one where it was like the imaginary friend that always yelled like Excelsior or something. They played that constantly on Cartoon Network. My brother thought cheese was funny. In Blue? Yeah, cheese. There was a different character called Cheese that was just like a maniac. Blue was a different character. Blue was like the main character. Cheese was like a reoccurring, just kind of like joke character. I watched it when I could. I wasn't often though, since I didn't have cable growing up. Ah! I've seen every episode at least 30 times. I don't think I have. I know I watched it a lot, but I don't know if I can say that I've seen every episode. Especially considering that it's been so long since I've like legitimately seen an episode of Foster's. I really gotta put some cards on the display. I just put those up, lady. No stink. Yay! The show was mostly meant for teenagers and young adults. The references to the 80s and 90s pop culture is crazy. Was it really intended for teenagers? I thought it was a kid's show. Wacky Racers, I don't think so. I watched a lot of, Billy and Mandy. I watched a lot of Billy and Mandy growing up. My mom loved Billy and Mandy. It was like one of her favorite things to, like, 'cause, like, we would make her watch shows with us, right? Because it was like we were younger, and so she wanted to make sure that we weren't flipping onto channels that we weren't supposed to be on, and so she'd come and sit and watch cartoons with us, but she loved Grim Adventures. That was like her favorite thing to watch with us. She liked Yu-Gi-Oh!, Grim Adventures, she liked Teen Titans, and then Avatar were the ones that she liked the most. This was back when Avatar was still on TV. Tom and Jerry. Tom and Jerry was really good too. The problem was that like trying to get like episodes of Tom and Jerry, they were always playing at really weird times. It's a kid's show, but Cartoon Network back in the early days had a lot of references to the 80s and 90s. That I wouldn't argue against. That I can understand. I'm trying to think of like what other shows my parents. My mom. My dad didn't watch a whole lot of cartoons with us, but like my mom did. I'm trying to think of like what other shows my mom watched with us. I can tell you that my parents both hated Adventure Time. My parents both hated Adventure Time. They hated Shouter. My parents hated Shouter. They didn't have a problem with Phineas and Ferb. Looney Tunes. I don't know if it was ever on when I would. I don't feel like I ever watched it. I don't remember if it was just on at weird times or if I just didn't have too big of an interest or what, but I don't think I really watched Looney Tunes much. At least not like the shows for Looney Tunes. Like they would play like movies like Quackbusters and things like that. Like those I watched, but like the actual like Looney Tunes shows, I don't think I watched. Yeah, I watched mostly like Looney Tunes movies, but I didn't watch a whole lot of shows, which is unfortunate because I know that a lot of them are really good. I'm trying to think if there were any other shows that my parents watched. My grandpa thought that Gravity Falls was neat. My mom and my dad both like Scooby-Doo. Like old school Scooby-Doo. I'm trying to think of like cartoons and not like live action stuff. That would have been on when I was like... Gravity Falls would have been when I was like 12, so like I don't think that counts. Phineas and Ferb and then like Gravity Falls, I don't know if those count because I would have been like a preteen when those ones started running. I think that's about it for the ones that I watched, at least. God, what else? What about Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated? I watched that a little bit, but like when it was released, I technically wasn't their target audience, so I didn't really understand what was going on. It was slightly too like old for me, I guess, is the best way to put it. Like I thought it was neat, but it wasn't anything that I like actively searched for, kind of show. Courage was definitely one that my parents liked. My mom liked Courage a lot more than my dad did. Actually, fun fact, for those of you that have Netflix, Mystery Incorporated was added to Netflix recently. Animaniacs? I did not watch Animaniacs. They didn't play that on like the regular Cartoon Network. Animaniacs was only on like the Hanna-Barbera channel or something like that for like a while until it was like retired, and so I didn't have it. Or like Boomerang or whatever. It was like basically they didn't play Animaniacs on like the actual Cartoon Network that I remember, unless it was played at like really, really early in the morning and I don't remember or something, but I never watched it. I've seen clips of it growing up, but I've never actually seen like a full episode. Johnny Bravo and Dexter. Those ones were on, I think that was called Boomerang. I think that channel was called Boomerang, and we didn't have it. You had to have some like special like extra service or something with, I had Dish growing up. That one you had to pay like extra to have, and my parents didn't bother, so I didn't have Boomerang growing up, so I had Jetix. But I didn't have I called it the Hanna-Barbera channel earlier. It was actually, I'm pretty sure that it was called Boomerang. Jetix was where they played like Sonic X and then like all of the oh my god, it's not fun. What's the 4Kids? They played a lot of 4Kids stuff on there. Yeah, they played all the 4Kids stuff on there, and then I had I watched a lot of Sonic X. I really liked that show. I actually own the entire series of Sonic X on DVD. Jetix had the cool narrator that also voiced Rock Lee. Oh. As for Speed Racer on Nickelodeon, I did not watch Speed Racer on Nickelodeon. Because I'm pretty sure that Nickelodeon also had some other weird side channel that had like, no, maybe it didn't, because I think that My Life as a Teenage Robot was also played on the regular one. I feel like they also had like a weird side channel that had some of the like Teen Nick. No, because we had Teen Nick, because that's what they put iCarly on. And I was like a religious watcher of iCarly growing up. My brother and I both. My brother really liked iCarly too. Space Ghost Coast to Coast was not something that I watched. I know that. And then I know I had seen episodes of it, but like I'm pretty sure that I was just out of the range of like of My Life as a Teenage Robot's like target audience, so I didn't watch it, or it was like ending its cycle where it was like ending completely, like either being canceled or just kind of ending in general by the time that I was like old enough to be its like target audience. I hated iCarly. I loved iCarly. Excuse me, sir, I'm closed. Or at least I will be in a second. Kim Possible? Yeah, I liked Kim Possible a lot. That was on when I was a kid. Super Monkey Team Hyperforce Go. That was on, but I don't think I ever watched it. I feel like Jackie Chan also had some kind of like... No, not Jackie Chan. What was it called? There was some other like... It was like a kung fu show, but I don't remember what it was called. That was on when I... I feel like it was Jackie Chan, but now that I'm like thinking about it, maybe it wasn't. Oh, it was Jackie Chan. Jackie Chan Adventures. Hero 106? No. I've never heard of that one. There was one show that I would watch like really super early in the morning. It like came on at like 6 a.m. and I don't even remember what channel it was on. It might have been Fox, but I'm not actually sure. But it was I literally don't remember what it's called anymore, but like the word it was like a bunch of like puzzles. It was intended to be like an educational program, but it looked like everything was like made out of paper. It was like paper cut, and like all the characters had this like weird uncanny valley look to them. And I feel like Oddbox is the word that comes to mind, but I know that's not right. I'm trying to think of like a way to describe what it was. It was like every episode had like a handful of like different puzzles that they like ran consistently, but all the answers were always different. And it was intended, and it was like they were all self-contained. There wasn't really any reoccurring characters outside of this like news lady. There was like a news lady with like red hair and a red suit, or with like orange hair and a red suit. And the way that her mouth would open was like she was like a puppet kind of thing. I have no idea what the show was called. I remember liking it, but I had to get up at like 6 a.m. to watch it. Nothing's coming to mind. I don't even remember what channel it was on. Maybe I can find a picture. Hold on. Because like when I describe like a ginger hair and like a red suit, the first thing that comes to mind is the Powerpuff Girls lady, and that's not the right show. A puppet woman. Red. This. That didn't work. It's gonna bother me. It's gonna bother me until I know what this is. I don't remember. She was like a newscaster. Oh, please? No. Christ, I don't know what her name. I don't know what I'm looking for. Weirdly enough, Wilma Flintstone came up, but I know that that's not correct. So did Jessica Rabbit, which is also not what I'm looking for. No! It's like a puzzle show from like early 2000s. Swear to God, I watched it on Fox. And when I looked that up, I only got pictures of cartoon foxes. That's not what I wanted. By Fox Kids, list of programs. See, it's in here. Oh my god, I'm trying to find it so bad. Fun fact, apparently, oh wait, that's Australia. Apparently Fox Kids in Australia played Sailor Moon? Wait a minute, maybe it wasn't Fox, it might have been PBS. Oh my god, it might have been PBS, which is gonna make it so much harder to find. That's gonna make it so much harder to find. It might have been a PBS show, and maybe that's why I don't remember. Because it was always, like, way, way, way early in the morning. Super Why? I watched some of that, but that's not the show I'm looking for. Oh my god, if I find it, I don't have time to be sitting here like trying to find some old cartoon show from my past. Just know that it was like kind of weird and uncanny looking, and it was like some kind of educational like puzzle show thing that you could only watch super early in the morning. Because I remember I would like put it onto the TV, and I was always the first one up so that I could watch it. And I don't think I ever told my parents about it because it was like first thing in the morning and I didn't want to bother them. So by the time that they were up, like I didn't have, like, I would tell them fun facts that I would learn off the show, but they wouldn't like. I feel like I remember her name rhymed because she was like the only reoccurring character that I can remember. Also, Wild Kratts. Nope. I knew what it was, but I didn't watch it. Like, in between customers, I'm now trying to find it because it's seriously bothering me. Oh my god. God, I can see what she looks like, but I can't describe her. Yes, it was a lady. She had a red business suit and she had orange hair. And she always held the papers in front of her and her head would like kind of rock back and forth and her mouth would just kind of flap open. I cannot for the life of me remember. She had a name, but I don't remember what it was. It was some kind of like rhyme. I'm pretty sure that her name like rhymed. God, Winx Club showed up, but that's not what I'm looking for. I don't remember if I ever watched Winx Club, but I know that I read a bunch of their books. They had like branded books or something like that. I thought Winx was cool. Who doesn't like fairy ladies? Fairy ladies are cool. Fairy ladies that are weirdly catty to one another. Not that. We. Because I'm pretty sure that that show is intended for teenagers. Oh my god, I found a picture of her. Oh my god, I found a picture of her. Crashbox! The name of the show is Crashbox. I finally found a picture of her. The name of the show is called Crashbox. It was on HBO? Or it says, yeah, it's on HBO. I don't know. It says HBO. It says old educational shows. HBO's Crashbox. I will post a picture of it. Hold on. Yeah, HBO Family. I'll put it into IRL. Hold on, customers. You can wait. No, why is it not working? Here. There it is. That was the only picture I could find of her, and I will deal with this later. There we go. Is she gonna ring us up? No, I'm looking for cartoon shows from my childhood. You watched that and didn't get nightmares? No, I didn't. I loved that show. It was like my favorite thing. I would wake up super early to watch it. And I feel like I remember like never telling my parents about it for some reason. I think it was just because of my parents like thought it was weird. Maybe I did tell them once and they thought it was weird. But it was always on like at like 6 in the morning. So I had to get up really early to watch it. But I thought it was the coolest thing and I was like learning, so I was like learning stuff and I was like I thought its art style was like really eye-catching because it was just so like weird and uncanny looking, and so like I don't know. Maybe that they would have thought it was demonic. No, not really. They probably would have thought it was weird, but maybe not demonic. I'm pretty sure that I was over the demographic for it though. Like, I don't know, I think I was like technically speaking a little too old to be watching it, but like I did anyway. Because it was an educational show for like, I think it was aimed at like 8-year-olds. I think it was aimed at like 8-year-olds, and I think I was like 10 or so when I was watching it. So I was like kind of outside the demographic, but like not horribly so. It looks unsettling. It honestly, like thinking back on it, it kind of was. It kind of was like unsettling looking, like the more that you look at it. But I don't know what it was. I don't know what it was about it. I loved that show. Your itch has been scratched. Yes, it has. I'm so happy I finally know what it is. But they always ran like reruns of it, like at super early in the morning, and they would do, you know, those like matchstick puzzles where it's like, oh, you just move one of these to be able to complete the puzzle. They would like do those, and it was like a Dora the Explorer where they would like leave the puzzle up on the like screen for like a couple seconds, and then they would give you the answer. Or they would do it was mostly things like that, where it was like they would do like the morning report, and then they would like do a bunch of puzzles for like half an hour, and then like at the end of the episode they would have some kind of like message for the kids or something like that. And it was like, that was kind of like its structure. Like it looked weird, but it looked weird and gross, but it was like it was intended to do something good. Aesthetically, like looking at pictures of it, it looks horrifying. Like, apparently it's from 99. It's from 1999, so like by the time that I was watching it, I was definitely watching reruns of it. I think the reason why I liked it so much was that it was a kid's show that was like teaching me something while also doing puzzles, but it didn't treat me like a child. Like in the best way that I could put it. Like, you know how Dora is just like, do you see where we're gonna go on the map? That's right. We're gonna go up this way. It's like it didn't treat me like I had no brain. Because it was intended for like slightly older kids than Dora age, and so it was like it didn't feel like it was like treating me like an idiot. Dora was right there. God damn it. I liked Dora as a kid, actually. So when I was in elementary school, the big thing with the kindergartners is kindergartners would make a time capsule. And they had to keep it sealed until they graduated high school. So you would fill it with a bunch of things, and you didn't get to see what the inside. You would tape it up, and you didn't get to see the inside of the box until you graduated high school. My box was a little like shoe card box thing that we had in the cabinet. But I was super into Dora as a kid, and so I got all these sparkly Dora stickers. And I covered my time capsule in Dora stickers because I was 5. I was like, actually, no, yeah, I would have been 5. I had just turned 5. So like, of course I liked Dora. And so I covered my box in Dora stickers. And inside that box, there were like pictures of me from kindergarten with like, we had like a buddy thing where it was like the older students would do like activities with the younger students. And then we had like, there was a string in there. Like a yarn string that was supposed to show how tall I was. So they had us put like the end of the string under our foot a little bit, and then they would go all the way up to the top of our head, and they'd snip it as for how tall we were. So there's a string in there that shows me like how tall I was when I graduated like kindergarten. And then they had me like draw a bunch of pictures of like things where I was like, oh, draw the school. And my picture of my school is the most 5-year-old picture I think I've ever seen in my life. It's literally just a square with like windows that I didn't even bother to make squares. They're more like triangles. It's just a box with like really bad like triangles or not like squares drawn in it to represent windows. And then I think I left a toy. I left like one of my like toys in there as well. Like my brother's, his had like Hot Wheels. My brother left himself like a couple of his Hot Wheels. I don't remember what toy was in there. The box is in the other room, so I could like grab it. Alright, checking the time. It is really dark in my room. Like, it feels like it's like 8 o'clock at night. Why is it so dark in here? Oh, it's because it was already dark to begin with because it got really super cloudy out of nowhere, and like because it's getting closer to winter, the days are shorter, but like it looks like it's like 9 o'clock at night in my room and I don't like it. I do. Because it's November. I know. Time for bed, I guess. No. Time to drink soon. Yeah, my family's gonna all gather on the couch for a couple hours tonight and watch the election results, and we're gonna drink. Is there anything in here? Is this an empty? Oh no, there is something in there. Okay. Do I have space for that? No. Alright. Yeah, I think it's messing up my sleeping too, because I'm waking up at like 1 or 2 a.m. I woke up like at 7 a.m. this morning, which is super out of character for me. I'm not much of a morning person. I'm seriously trying to fix that. I'm seriously trying to get like better about it. Should probably be putting cards on here. I woke up at 6 a.m. I want to start getting up way earlier so that I can start like going to the gym like first thing in the morning. Just because I feel like it would be healthier for me, but like I don't want to get out of bed. Get away from me, guy. Let me do this, please. I just put those up! Fine. Can I hold this? Oh, I can just... I don't have to click every time I go over an item. I can just hold it down. Than obnoxiously clicking my mouse. I think I'll start doing that since my body thinks that the time hasn't changed. I need to start getting up at a really specific time and going to the gym. So, because like my gym schedule is really super spotty, but I seriously just need to like carve out like a specific time during the day to be able to like go, so that I can like force myself into a schedule. And it's gonna have to be first thing in the morning because I always do stuff at night or in the afternoons. Oh, hello. 2, 3, 4, 5. No. Get my stuff. me get rid of, like, what I have first and then go get the other boxes. Like, this says that there's only 4 cards in here, and I don't know why I still have this. It's funny people who actually work this kind of job come back home to play a game about their job. Yeah, that would be kind of funny. So I actually thought about, like, applying for a job at my local card store because, I don't know, I like cards. I can talk to people about cards all day. But, like, I unfortunately cannot get a job at my local card store because the guy who runs the store is super sexist. Or, like, the guy who owns the store is super sexist, and so, like, anytime that a woman tries to apply at the store, their application immediately goes in the garbage. So I can't work there even if I wanted to. From what I understand, I don't know if he's, like, still involved with the store, but, like, for the longest time, like, if you were a girl, you flat out couldn't even apply there. I don't think it's that way anymore. I think they had, like, I think he sold the shop to somebody else and now somebody else owns it or whatever. I'm not totally sure. All I know is that women cannot work at my local card store. It is a male staff only. Hi. So if I were to apply at the card shop, my application would likely just get thrown out. I think I've seen one girl work there in 4 years. I've seen one woman work there, and I'm pretty sure she was there for like 2 weeks. Maybe not 2 weeks. She was there for like a little bit. Like not super, super long, but she wasn't there. She wasn't there a full couple of months. I want to say that she quit after like maybe a month or 2. I'm assuming she quit. I don't know. The rest of the staff there has been there for quite a while, though. Like, they seem to have very little turnover when it comes to staff. Which is a good thing. At least you kind of always know who's in there, but, like... Sucks that they won't hire anybody, I guess. Especially considering that they run a lot of tournaments, so you would think that they would want a bit more staff to be able to help out with that, but, like, whatever. Oh, that's why I'm selling them too cheap. I was like, why is everybody getting the orange cards today? 2, 3, 1, 2. $20, not 4. Wait, 24. There we go. Welcome. Okay. Guess as long as I'm kind of empty, I can do this really fast. He took my card again. Every time I put up a card, they're like, yoink. Like, just let me put the cards up before you start taking them. Maniacs. They're complaining that I don't have any card sleeves, so I guess I need to invest into those. Do I even have? Card sleeves it is. Oop. 72 card sleeves. Ooh, lost. Stick them up here. Let's go 150. Man, I wish I could get card sleeves for $1.50. Card sleeves are like, depending upon the brand, of course. Like, I think the cheapest card sleeves that I've been able to find are like penny sleeves, and even the penny sleeves are like $7 or $8 a box. No, maybe not 7 or 8. It's like, I think no, actually, I think the Dragon Shield card sleeves, they sell for like $8 a box or something like that, but the penny sleeve packages are like $5. It's a robbery, I tell you. They're called penny sleeves. There's no need for them to be so expensive. That and Dragon Shield are supposed to be like kind of like the budget option. Anyway, so I don't know why they're so expensive. On that price. Here we go. Turn on the lights. Pay the bills. God, I'm burning. Why are you burning? Are you okay? I need to get under the table. Heat is on high. Oh. Gotta go eat at some point. And that reminds me, because I gotta go cook. The heat being on high reminds me of like the oven. I need to go eat at some point. My mother likes it that way while I'm living in an oven, so it ain't a good combination. My mom also prefers things to be pretty warm, but that's for like a completely different medical reason. So my dad just kind of deals with it. I know it bothers him, so like in his office he has like a bunch of fans and stuff that he'll use, and then they have like a ceiling fan in their room that like never turns off, but like my mom insists on the house being like a lot warmer than my dad wants it to be. I'm usually cold, but that's purely because I just don't have a whole lot of body mass to begin with, and so I don't generate a whole lot of heat on my own. Give dad a heat stroke. My dad is fine. Our house is not that warm. We keep it like 72. Our house is at like 72. Something. Our house is at like 72 degrees, and my dad thinks that it's way too hot in here. It's like 72 is not that bad. My mom, however, thinks that it needs to be like 76 in here at all times, which I think is no. 76 is a little bit too much. Because the thing is that my room is upstairs, and so all that heat's gonna rise upstairs, and it's gonna make it so warm. Because like the thing is, my computer already gives off enough heat. Adding that on to it would just make it like unbearable in my room. I do not have a whole lot of body heat to myself because I don't have the body mass to be able to, and so like I don't, and so I've never been one to really be able to like generate a whole lot of body heat on my own, so. I kind of like it when I have my computer going for a little bit because it makes my room a little toasty, but like not. But then it gets like the problem is that it escalates really quickly, and then my room is too hot. But like I don't have a way to like air it out unless I go and like open my window. The problem is it's like way too cold outside to do that. It's like snowing, and I don't want to open my window in the snow, you know? Lucky not being able to generate body heat? It means that I am just consistently cold. It's great for winter, but horrific in the summer. It's nice not having a whole lot of, like, ability to create my own body heat in the summer because it does keep me a little bit cooler, but it's awful in the winter. So I have, like, the opposite problem where it's, like, in the wintertime, I am just constantly cold. These away. Oh. Thank you, Zero. But no, what is this? Oh, it's these. Sleepy time. Oh no, you redeemed sleepy time twice, so the blanket was only here for like 2 seconds. My Sharky. My shark plushie. All right, I think it really is the saying, a dehydrated man watching a guy drown. It's kind of funny because like I don't retain any like my body doesn't retain water the same way that other people's bodies do. I burn off water faster than my body can intake. So like the way that my doctor explained it to me is that think of like a red Solo cup and then think of like a garbage can. The garbage can is how much water I need like in a day to be considered like healthy or like for my body to be able to sustain itself properly. But the red Solo cup is the amount of water that I'm able to put into my body a day. And so I can't, by the time that I start using that red Solo cup and slowly filling the garbage can, it'll be empty by the time that I get to that point. So I can't retain water. You chug liters too. I should. I live in a constant state of dehydration because my body can't process water. What also doesn't help is I'm hypoglycemic as well. So not being able to process water one way and then also constantly needing to eat, it's not helping. Yeah, it's a garbage bag. It's a garbage bag with like a tiny hole. So like my body's burning through like the natural water that you need for the day. And so by the time that you're like, wow, I literally cannot put enough water into my body to sustain it properly. And there's no way to combat it really, other than to just make sure that I constantly have a drink with me at all times. So I carry water bottles with me, or I always have something with me at all times. We are going to head out of here for now, actually, because I gotta go eat. I need to go eat, so I think I'm heading out of here for the day. I also gotta stretch. I really need to stretch. Okay. You like the guy at school who brings the gallon of water? God, no. But, I'm gonna head out of here for the day. I hope you guys have a good night, good day, good morning, whatever it is for you. I need to go help get dinner set up. I don't know if anybody's on. See if I can raid you guys out into someone. Nope. Nobody I know is on. Alright. Well, I guess I will see you guys later then. Bye, everybody!